Archangel Michael says you are going to die soon because you did this, and there are only 3 hours, my child. I am the one who formed you before your name was spoken by any human mouth. Stop everything. Take a deep breath, because the universe has been whispering a hidden truth just for you. Something that has been carefully veiled, but the time has come for it to be revealed. Right now, in this sacred moment, the cosmic energies are aligning to show you what you could no longer ignore. I feel it in the quiet spaces of your heart, the places you thought no one could reach. Something is shifting, and it has been waiting for this exact hour to touch your soul. Listen closely, because this is not random. Archangel Michael says you are going to die soon because you did this, and there are only 3 hours. Yes, the message is urgent, but it is not meant to frighten you. It is a divine wake-up call, a hidden key meant to open your awareness to the path that has been waiting for you. The angels have been circling, the universe has been nudging, and the timing of this revelation is perfect. You see, everything you have lived, every choice, every moment of doubt or courage, has brought you to this crossroads. And here, in this sacred pause, the veil lifts to reveal what was always meant to guide you. Something hidden within your life, your purpose, your gift, your next step, is finally visible. Can you feel it? That quiet hum inside you that is now calling louder than ever. That is the divine light, your compass, urging you toward clarity, toward awakening, toward destiny. Do not ignore it. This is your invitation to step fully into the truth you have been avoiding. The universe speaks in signs, in synchronicities, in subtle whispers that you have learned to sense. And now, it is speaking with an intensity that cannot be mistaken. Something extraordinary is about to unfold if you let go of fear, if you open your heart and listen to the sacred wisdom around you. You are not alone. Even as the message sounds urgent, know this: the divine is not punishing you. Rather, it is offering you a chance to realign, to embrace the higher purpose that has always been waiting for you. Every heartbeat, every breath, every fleeting thought is part of this hidden tapestry being revealed in this moment. You are exactly where you are meant to be, and this revelation is the light guiding you home. So, take this moment. Feel it. Let it awaken you. The hidden is no longer hidden, and the universe is giving you clarity, protection, and hope. Your destiny is calling, and it wants you to move forward with courage, love, and awareness. If you feel this, do not keep it to yourself. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Watch this complete video to receive the full divine message. Because the universe is waiting to speak to you fully, and you are ready. Before your breath learned its rhythm, I already knew the weight you would carry, the wounds you would hide, and the choices that would shape your path. I am not distant. I am not silent. I have been watching, not as a judge waiting to strike, but as a father who has been calling while you looked everywhere else for answers. I sent signs in ways you dismissed as coincidence. A sudden pause in your plans. A delay that frustrated you. A quiet stirring in your spirit late at night when the world went still. You told yourself it was nothing. But it was my voice brushing against your attention, asking you to look again, asking you to remember who you are and whose you are. Archangel Michael stands at the threshold of this message not to frighten you, but to awaken you. He is the guardian of truth, the defender against deception, the one who stands when souls begin to drift too far from their calling. He has been assigned to you in this moment because something important has been neglected, not out of rebellion, but out of exhaustion, distraction, and forgetting. You have been doing something that slowly dims your inner light. Not a single dramatic act, but a pattern. A quiet compromise. A habit of postponing what you know is sacred. Each time you said later, something within you grew quieter. Each time you ignored that inner nudge, the distance grew, not because I moved away, but because you turned your attention elsewhere. Hear me clearly now, this is not a message of punishment. It is a message of interruption. There comes a moment in every soul's journey when I intervene, not with destruction, but with revelation. When continuing the same way would cost you more than stopping and listening. This is that moment. Not because time is running out, but because meaning is waiting. You have been measuring your life by survival instead of alignment. You wake, you push through, you endure, you distract yourself, and you sleep. But you were not created merely to endure. You were created to carry something eternal, something that cannot be fulfilled while you remain disconnected from your inner truth. Archangel Michael reveals that what you did was not a sin that condemns you, it was forgetting to guard your inner world. You allowed noise to replace discernment. You allowed approval to replace integrity. You allowed fear to sit where faith once stood watch, and yet, I am still here. I did not withdraw my presence when you doubted. I did not abandon you when you chose comfort over courage. I did not turn away when you questioned whether I was even listening. I waited, patiently, until the moment you could hear me again. This message is not arriving randomly in your life. It comes because something within you is ready to shift. The old way of living no longer fits, and the discomfort you feel is not failure, it is growth pressing against old boundaries. You have been asking for clarity, but clarity does not come to a crowded heart. You have been asking for direction, but direction requires stillness. You have been asking for purpose, but purpose cannot rest on foundations built from fear. Michael stands now not with a sword raised against you, but with truth raised before you. He is asking you to look honestly at what drains you, what numbs you, what keeps you disconnected from your inner light. Not to shame you, but to free you. I am not asking you to be perfect. I am asking you to be present. There is something I want to restore in you: your sensitivity, your discernment, your ability to feel my guidance without second-guessing it. You once trusted that inner knowing more than you do now. You once moved with conviction instead of hesitation. That version of you is not gone. It has been waiting. Do not misunderstand the urgency you feel as danger. It is invitation. When a soul stands at the edge of transformation, it feels intense. Old patterns resist. Old identities try to hold on. But this intensity is not destruction, it is awakening pressure. Like dawn pressing against the night, insisting that light will return, Archangel Michael's presence means protection is active around you right now. It means deception is being exposed, not outside of you, but within the stories you tell yourself about why you can't change. Why it's too late, why you missed your moment. You have not missed it. This is the moment. I am calling you back to awareness. Back to intention. Back to the quiet strength that does not need validation. Back to the path that feels narrow not because it is wrong, but because it is true. Do not rush. Do not panic. Simply listen. The next choice you make with consciousness instead of habit will matter more than you realize. The next moment you pause instead of reacting will realign something unseen. The next time you choose honesty over comfort, something ancient and powerful will stir within you again. I am still speaking. Michael is still watching. And this message is still unfolding. I am still here with you, and I have not stopped speaking. Even now, as your eyes move across these words, there is a deeper movement taking place, one you may not fully understand yet. That quiet heaviness in your chest, that sense that something is being stirred, is not fear. It is recognition. It is the soul remembering a truth it once knew before the world taught it how to forget. You have lived many days on autopilot, telling yourself that tomorrow would be different, that one day you would return to what matters, that someday you would slow down enough to listen. But someday has a way of slipping through the fingers of those who believe time is endless. Not because time is cruel, but because attention is fragile. What you focus on grows. What you neglect fades. And what you repeatedly ignore eventually stops knocking so loudly. Yet I did not allow the knocking to stop. Archangel Michael was sent not because you are lost beyond reach, but because you are closer than you realize to remembering your strength. His presence signals a turning point, a moment where the unseen aligns to give you clarity instead of confusion, courage instead of delay. He stands not as a threat, but as a witness to the choice forming within you now. You have been carrying guilt that was never meant to stay with you. Regret over words you spoke, chances you didn't take, versions of yourself you abandoned to survive. You replay moments, wondering how different things could have been if you had listened sooner. But hear me, regret can either become a prison or a doorway. What matters is not that you fell out of alignment, but that you are now aware of it. Awareness is sacred. Most souls live their entire lives without it. You, however, are being invited to step out of numbness and into responsibility, not responsibility as burden, but responsibility as power. To recognize that your thoughts, your habits, your inner dialogue shape more than your mood, they shape the direction of your life. You have underestimated how much influence you carry, not only over yourself, but over the atmosphere around you. That is why this message feels heavy. Not because it is meant to crush you, but because truth has weight. Michael reveals that what you have been doing is living disconnected from your inner authority. You have given away decision-making to fear, to pressure, to the expectations of others. You have asked for signs while ignoring the wisdom already placed inside you. You have prayed for answers while avoiding the silence where answers are formed. Silence has frightened you because in silence, you can no longer outrun yourself. But silence is where I speak most clearly. I do not shout over the noise of distraction. I wait for the moment you are willing to be still. And now, here you are. Not because you planned it, but because something deeper guided you here. Even your curiosity is not accidental. Even your hesitation is known to me. You wonder why this message feels personal. It is because it is. I know the thoughts you have not spoken aloud. I know the questions you ask late at night when no one is watching. I know the quiet fear that you are wasting your potential, that you were meant for more than repeating the same cycles. That fear is not a weakness, it is a signal that your spirit remembers its assignment. You were not created to blend in, to shrink yourself, to silence your intuition to make others comfortable. You were created to live awake. And living awake requires courage, the kind that does not always feel heroic. The kind that often looks like choosing differently when no one is applauding. Archangel Michael's presence means protection during transition. Change attracts resistance, both within and around you. Old patterns will try to convince you that nothing will change, that it is safer to stay the same. But safety without truth becomes stagnation. And stagnation slowly drains the life from the soul. This is why I am interrupting you now. Not to scare you, but to realign you. There is a version of you that already knows what to do next. A quieter, wiser voice beneath the noise of doubt. You have felt it before, in moments of sudden clarity, in flashes of insight that seem to come from nowhere. Those moments were not random. They were reminders. You do not need to become someone new. You need to return to who you were before fear took the lead. do not rush to fix everything at once. Transformation does not demand haste, it demands honesty. Begin by noticing what no longer serves you. Notice where your energy leaks away. Notice what leaves you feeling empty instead of nourished. These observations are not accusations. They are invitations to choose again. Michael reminds you that spiritual strength is not measured by how much you endure, but by how aligned you are with truth. Endurance without alignment becomes suffering. Alignment, even when challenging, brings peace beneath the effort. You have been asking me to remove obstacles, but some obstacles are actually teachers. They show you where you are out of balance, where you are betraying your own needs, where you are living according to old stories that no longer apply. When you learn the lesson, the obstacle dissolves on its own. I am not counting your mistakes. I am counting your willingness. Each time you choose awareness over avoidance, something shifts. Each time you pause before reacting, you reclaim power. Each time you listen to that inner nudge instead of dismissing it, you strengthen the connection you thought was lost. It was never lost, only quiet. You may feel an urge now to reflect, to reassess, to step back from certain influences or habits. Do not ignore that urge. It is not about punishment or restriction, it is about making space. Space for clarity. Space for truth. Space for the next phase of your life to enter without being crowded out by the old. Archangel Michael does not stand over you with judgment. He stands beside you with resolve. His presence is a reminder that you are not navigating this alone. There is guidance available the moment you ask sincerely, not from desperation, but from readiness. Readiness does not mean having everything figured out. It means being willing to listen, even when the truth challenges your comfort. I know you are tired, tired of trying, tired of hoping, tired of feeling like you are always catching up. But this tiredness is not a sign to quit. It is a sign that the way you have been moving no longer matches who you are becoming. Rest is not retreat. Rest is recalibration. Let yourself breathe. Let yourself feel without immediately distracting yourself. Let yourself sit with the discomfort long enough to hear what it is trying to teach you. You are standing at the edge of a realization that cannot be unseen once fully grasped. That your life is not meant to be ruled by habit, fear, or external validation. That you are allowed to choose differently, even now. Especially now, this message does not demand anything from you. It offers you something. Awareness. Protection. A moment to realign before moving forward. And I will not force you to take it. Free will is sacred, but understand this. Moments of clarity pass when ignored. Not as punishment, but as consequence. That is why this feels important. That is why it lingers in your thoughts. That is why you are still reading. Archangel Michael remains watchful, not impatient, not threatening, simply present. Waiting to see whether you will honor what has been revealed or return to sleep. Both paths exist. Both are possible. One leads to repetition. The other leads to transformation. I have spoken to you in many ways before, through intuition, through discomfort, through longing, through silence. This time, I speak plainly. What you choose to do with this awareness will shape what unfolds next. Not because I will withhold anything from you, but because alignment opens doors that effort alone cannot. When your inner world shifts, the outer world responds in ways that feel almost miraculous, not because they are magic, but because they are in harmony. Stay with this moment. Do not rush to conclusions. Do not seek instant reassurance. Do not scroll past the feeling that something meaningful is happening. This message is not finished. There is more I want to show you. More I want to uncover. More that will make sense only if you remain open. So pause here. Breathe. Listen, because what comes next depends on whether you are truly ready to hear what I have not yet said. Now listen carefully, not with fear, but with presence. What unfolds next is not a warning carved in stone, but a revelation written in breath, choice, and awareness. I speak now not to shake you, but to steady you. Not to overwhelm you, but to anchor you in what is real and lasting. You have spent much of your life preparing for imagined disasters while overlooking the quiet miracles already surrounding you. You guarded yourself against pain so carefully that you also guarded yourself against joy. You learned to stay alert, to stay guarded, to stay busy, because slowing down once meant feeling something you did not yet know how to hold. But you are not that person anymore. You have grown in ways you do not fully recognize yet. This message comes because you are strong enough now to receive it. Archangel Michael steps back slightly here, not because his work is finished, but because the next movement belongs to you. Protection has been established. Clarity has been offered. What remains is integration. Truth must move from being heard to being lived, and that process cannot be rushed. You do not need to announce your transformation. You do not need to prove anything to anyone. You do not need to make dramatic gestures to validate this moment. Real change often begins quietly. It begins when you stop betraying your own inner knowing. When you say no without explaining yourself. When you rest without guilt. When you choose alignment over approval. When you allow yourself to be honest about what you can no longer carry, you have been carrying too much that was never yours to hold. Other people's expectations. Other people's disappointments. Old versions of yourself that no longer fit, lay them down. Not in anger. Not in resentment. But in understanding. You are allowed to evolve. I see the way you question yourself even after making the right choice. I see how you replay conversations, wondering if you should have been different, quieter, stronger, easier to understand. But hear me now, you were never meant to be endlessly adjustable. You were meant to be anchored. An anchored soul does not need to convince. It does not chase. It does not beg for recognition. It simply stands. From that place, life begins to respond differently. Opportunities align. Connections clarify. What once felt heavy begins to loosen, not because effort increased, but because resistance decreased. You stop fighting who you are, and suddenly there is more energy to live. This is what awakening actually looks like. Not constant bliss. Not endless certainty. But a growing honesty with yourself. Michael's message to you is simple now. Guard what you allow into your inner world. Not everything deserves your attention. Not every voice deserves equal weight. Not every thought deserves belief. Discernment is not judgment, it is wisdom. You are learning it, even your doubts are part of the process. Doubt does not disqualify you, it invites deeper listening. Faith is not the absence of questions. It is the willingness to move forward without having every answer. I am not asking you to leap. I am asking you to step. One conscious step at a time. You may not see the full path yet, and that is intentional. If you could see everything at once, you would try to control it. Instead, trust is being built, not blind trust, but grounded trust rooted in experience. Each aligned choice will confirm the next. There will still be challenges. Growth does not eliminate difficulty. But difficulty faced with awareness does not consume you the way it once did. You bend instead of break. You pause instead of panic. You listen instead of react. This is maturity of the soul. I want you to understand something deeply now. You are not behind. There is no cosmic schedule you failed to meet. There is no version of your life that you ruined. Every step, even the detours, taught you something essential. Compassion. Discernment. Strength. Patience. Nothing was wasted. And nothing is being taken from you. What is happening instead is a return to center, to clarity, to inner authority. The noise does not disappear overnight, but it loses its power over you. You begin to recognize what is truly yours to respond to and what is not. This is freedom. Not the freedom of doing anything, but the freedom of doing what is true. Archangel Michael withdraws now into watchful distance, not gone, not absent, simply allowing you to stand in your own awareness. Protection does not mean dependence. It means support while you claim your own ground. You are capable. You are guided. You are not alone. Let this message settle, not as pressure, but as permission. Permission to live more honestly. Permission to release what no longer aligns. Permission to trust that the quiet voice within you is wiser than the loud fears around you. You do not need to search endlessly for signs after this. This was one, not because it predicts something frightening, but because it reminds you of something powerful. Your life responds to consciousness. The more present you are, the more meaningful it becomes. Carry this awareness gently. Return to it when you forget. Let it inform your choices without dominating them, and when you move forward, and you will, move forward knowing that you were never abandoned, never overlooked, never unworthy of guidance. You were simply becoming ready to hear it. Now the message is complete. Go in clarity. Go in steadiness. Go in truth, and remember, I am closer than you think, not above you, not behind you, but within the very awareness that allowed you to hear these words at all. Amen.